You're watching Alabama Broadcasters Station of the Year. Coverage you can count on. WAAY 31 Midday News starts now.
Temperatures already heating up this afternoon. We're going to get to over 100 degrees. I've got more on your day, your 7-day, and what's coming by way of change coming up in a few minutes.
And the results are in. Which names you'll see on that ballot come the November general election.
Plus, a bipartisan group of lawmakers one step closer to passing their anti-gun violence laws. When a final vote could come down. Thanks so much for joining us for WAAY 31 Midday News. I'm Megan Reyna.
And I'm Chris Tatum. Another hot day here in Alabama, North Alabama specifically, and going to be especially hot today from what I understand.
I know. I already got outside. I don't need to go outside anymore. We do have WAAY 31 storm tracker meteorologist Grace Anello joining us with what exactly we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are talking about the heat, and more heat. Temperatures right now, 11 o'clock on the dot. Most of us already in the mid-90s. A little bit cooler in Guntersville, 91, 95 already in Huntsville, with plenty of those fair weather cumulus clouds around as well. Kind of a mixed bag here with our winds right now. Decatur, you're talking 8 miles an hour, and the same in the Shoals. But then again, plenty of us are calm. So, you know, kind of a mixed bag of what to expect, what not to expect on that go around. Well, our WAAY 31 storm tracker early warning radar network is clear, and it does stay that way through lunchtime. By the time we get to noon, we're talking 95 degrees there. But check this out, 2 p.m. getting dangerously close to that high temperature today. Puts us at about 99 there at 2 p.m. And our high temperature for the day, 101 degrees. So if you're going to be out the pool, promise me you'll try to get in the shade for a little bit. I've got more on your 7-day and what comes in way of change coming up.
All right, thank you so much, Grace. Well, brand new at midday, the Federal Aviation Administration scrambling to find out what caused a small plane to crash in Scottsboro.
Yeah, happened around 6:30 this morning, airport leaders say. Happened at Scottsboro Municipal Airport. Investigators have not yet said if that plane was taking off or landing when it crashed. They do, though, say, and this is the good news to report about that, nobody got hurt.
Looks like quite a bit of damage there, so very fortunate to say that. Well, also new at midday, the Jackson County School District mourning the loss of their superintendent. Today, the Jackson County Board of Education announced Kevin Dukes died. Board members say he was loved and will be missed by many. They have not specified how he died or any other details, but definitely some heartbreaking news to pass along to you.
Thoughts are with his family for sure.
Well, the results are in, and we now know which names will appear on the November general election ballot.
Yeah, well, Democrat Yolanda Flowers will now face off against Republican Governor Kay Ivey. She won 10% more of that vote in yesterday's runoff than her challenger, Malika Sanders, 48, the other Democrat running. Well, Flowers is the first black woman to be nominated by a major party for the office of governor of Alabama.
Katie Britt beat Mo Brooks, putting her name on the ballot for the open Alabama Senate seat in November. Britt will face Democrat Will Boyd in that race. She thanked her supporters during a victory speech last night, but said the work is not done.
Y'all have such a special place in my heart. Whether it was encouraging me with texts, prayers, helping shuttle the children around, or putting together meet and greets, y'all have stepped up in such meaningful ways. Wesley said it best when he said, Katie, it's got to make you proud that the people who know you the best are your biggest supporters.
Britt and Will Boyd are trying to fill, of course, that U.S. Senate seat. They'll be left open by current Senator Richard Shelby.
Well, Dale Strong is now the Republican contender for that 5th district seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. He beat challenger Casey Wardinsky by more than 20,000 votes. Strong will face Democrat Kathy Warner Stanton now come November. You can find these results and many other races we haven't talked about here on television when you head over to our website. That's WAAYTV.com. And also you can get that information when you download our WAAY 31 News app.
Funerals are underway for 2 people killed during a shooting at a Birmingham area church. They are for Bart Rainey and Sharon Yeager. They're being held at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Vestavia Hills. Right now, actually, they were killed at a potluck dinner at the church last Thursday. The 3rd victim will be laid to rest tomorrow. 70-year-old Robert Smith is charged with capital murder for that shooting. He's in jail without bond, and we have no word yet on when he may appear in court. Well, the Senate is one step closer to passing a bipartisan gun package.
ABC's Justin Finch has the latest as the compromise bill cleared an initial procedural vote.
After weeks of closed-door talks between a Senate group of 10 Democrats and 10 Republicans, Congress on the verge of passing landmark gun legislation.
This is a breakthrough. And more importantly, it's a bipartisan breakthrough.
The bill calls for enhanced background checks for gun buyers under age 21. It closes loopholes to prevent people convicted of domestic violence from owning guns, and it allocates $15 billion in funding for states to launch anti-gun violence programs and invest in school security and mental health. Not included a red flag law, a provision which would remove firearms from those deemed a danger. Nor would it raise the buying age for assault-style weapons to 21, a provision Democrats and the president wanted. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell vowing to support the bill, saying, "For years, the far left falsely claimed that Congress could only address the terrible issue of mass murders by trampling on law-abiding Americans' constitutional rights. This bill proves that false." The NRA countering, saying this legislation can be abused to restrict lawful gun purchases, infringe upon the rights of law-abiding Americans, and use federal dollars to fund gun control measures by state and local politicians. Texas Senator John Cornyn says the bill was born from calls for action following deadly mass shootings at a Buffalo, New York grocery store and a Uvalde, Texas elementary school last month.
I've received tens of thousands of calls and letters and emails with a singular message: do something.
The compromise bill appears on track for final approval this week, but that hinges on Republican support. The other questions, the cost of this bill and just how it will be funded. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Well, Russia says it may execute 2 Alabama men captured while fighting for Ukraine. It says Andy Tywin and Alexander Druki are not protected by the Geneva Convention that lays out how prisoners of war should be treated. You'll recall both men volunteered to go fight with Ukraine against Russia's invasion. Well, the U.S. State Department says it's warning Russia right now not to execute those men, and also says it's trying to ensure they're safe.
That anyone who is in their custody or the custody of proxy forces who fall under Russian control, their health, their safety, their well-being is the responsibility of the Russian Federation.
And some U.S. leaders have actually said it's quite bold of Russia to even suggest executing those men. And there's no question that would certainly ramp things up in that war with Ukraine and the U.S. involvement there. In any case, U.S. security leaders say they are right now working with Ukraine and the International Committee of the Red Cross, trying to bring those 2 Alabama men home.
More people could be rolling up their sleeves for a 4th COVID booster shot. The U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy says they're now considering a 4th shot for most people. Now, right now, the CDC recommends anyone 50 and older can get that 4th booster. The FDA vaccine advisors plan to meet next week to discuss this. Now, today, Alabama will see its first shipments of COVID vaccines for kids. 55 places around our state will receive both Moderna and Pfizer doses. Now that doses are on their way, health leaders are hoping parents sign their kids up for the shot.
I'm not advocating going out and getting infected before you get your vaccine. I am saying, though, that if you have been, like 75% of all children in the United States, infected with COVID, especially during this last Omicron wave in January and into February of this year, if you then go get vaccinated, as is now recommended for 6 months of age and over, you will have maximally protected your child and done everything you can to keep them safe.
So a little more than 18,000 doses, again, headed to Alabama, should expect first shipments today. So here's a look at the vaccination efforts across the state since the pandemic began. According to the state health department, more than 6 million doses have been administered. That's more than 60% of the nearly 10 million doses that have been delivered to our state. Of the total doses given, we know more than 840,000 were booster shots.
Well, at me today, President Biden expected to call on Congress to suspend the federal gas tax until the end of September. He'll also call on states to lift their individual taxes on gas. No word yet from Governor Kay Ivey if she plans to drop the tax in Alabama. She has in the past said she was opposed to doing that. The president will also ask oil companies to increase production. That speech, by the way, happening at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So coming up here within the next couple of hours. FedEx right now getting a new batch of these electric vans. They're made by Bright Drop, a part of General Motors. The company delivered 150 of them to FedEx this week with a deal for thousands more. Electric delivery vans have become a major arena of competition for both established and startup car-making companies.
Help is heading to Afghanistan after a deadly earthquake. How many people they say are now dead from that disaster?
Plus, the IRS now says it's just about caught up on tax returns, why it took them so long to go through last year's returns.
And those temperatures sure are heating up. Your high temperature today, just over 100. I've got your 7-day coming up in just a few minutes.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WAAY 31 News with the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Aid being rushed right now to eastern Afghanistan, where that earthquake has killed more than 1,000 people. State media reports as many as 1,500 people are hurt. Rescuers are desperately trying to reach possible survivors of that powerful earthquake that struck that remote area near Pakistan. Of course, we're keeping a close eye on this developing situation. Now, a member of the Air Force was arrested by military law enforcement in connection to an April attack at a U.S. military base in northern Syria. The attack left 4 U.S. service members hurt. Initially, U.S. military leaders said the attack was caused by indirect fire on the base. The Pentagon is refusing to disclose any more details right now.
Well, the IRS right now says it's just about done working through its backlog of tax returns from last year. It says it's right now on track to catch up with this year's returns before the end of this year. Those delays are blamed in part on the IRS also handling the job of administering programs like child tax credit payments and stimulus checks during the pandemic. Well, Polaris is holding a job fair today. It's even looking to hire welders, operators, and material handlers. This is happening from 3 to 7 this evening. It's happening at Polaris's facility off Greenbrier Parkway in Madison. You can actually apply online before you even head out to that job fair. But the organizers do say walk-ins are welcome as well. Huntsville City Schools will host a job fair tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Huntsville High School Freshman Academy off Billy Watkins Street is where that's happening. You can actually network with representatives from schools and departments across the entire district and learn more about jobs they have available.
Well, Chris, the White House is appointing a Native American as U.S. Treasurer for the first time in history. Marilyn Malerba is the lifetime chief of the Mohegan tribe. As Treasurer, Malerba will directly oversee the U.S. Mint, Fort Knox, and will serve as a liaison with the Federal Reserve. She'll also lead a newly created Office of Tribal and Native Affairs within the U.S. Treasury. Happening today, Women and Technology Huntsville is hosting a mentoring platform event. This starts at 5:30 tonight at UAH's Invention to Innovation Center. It is free. It is open to all women. The event does have a lineup of speakers. You'll have a mentor speed dating and networking opportunities that come along with that, of course. And free food, I will add that. They do want you to register beforehand. You'll need to do that. We have information about how to get registered. Again, it is free, but you can find it on our website, WAAYTV.com. Alabama A&M looking for a new athletic director.
Yeah, what made current AD step down? Welcome back, everybody. 18 minutes past 11 o'clock right now. Alabama A&M looking for a new athletic director right now.
They are. Current director Brian Hicks is stepping down, but he's taking a front office role with SWAC. So Hicks has been the AD since 2012 and oversaw the revitalization of the program with major facility upgrades. He was actually a graduate of Alabama A&M himself. He said in a goodbye statement that he was grateful to be able to serve his school.
Folks love him over there.
They do.
But what a great opportunity.
Exactly.
This is. Yeah.
Can't pass that up.
Well, the 13th annual High School Fishing World Finals and National Championship happening right now in Florence.
Right. The Bass Federation tournament could actually include more than 850 anglers. Now that event will last through Sunday. fishing is always impressive to me because I feel like you have to have a lot of patience.
That's why I don't do it.
I know, me either. You know we're both impatient. All right, well, powerboat racing returns to Lake Gunnersville this weekend. Let's take a live look there.
Ooh, look at that beautiful.
Yeah, over the lake, courtesy of WAAY 31 Sky Camera Network. Hydrofest, of course, that's what we're talking about. That starts Saturday and it goes through Sunday. City leaders say more than 50,000 people are expected to attend.
In that beautiful spot right there.
I mean, I can see why it would attract so many people. We've seen old video of that, Chris.
Yeah.
And we always said we don't go on those boats. They go too fast.
No, those boats go way too fast for me.
All right. Well, it's definitely one of those days where you might want to cool off by getting in the water.
Oh, yeah.
And the spray that 200-mile-an-hour boat going across that water creates might actually be comforting out there.
That's true. That's true. It might just be the exact cool off that we all need today.
Right.
Well, 11:20 and we're already heating up, guys. 95 in Huntsville, 93 in Decatur, Muscle Shoals, 96 for you already this afternoon. So we are awfully, awfully warm. WAAY 31 Storm Tracker, early warning radar network, dry. Not a whole lot's changed the last few days, so that does stay dry, does stay calm for the rest of the day. Now there is a little bit of cloud cover east of I-65 that's going to stick with us for the beginning part of the afternoon, but the good news is by about 3 o'clock that should be mostly out of our way. All right, now let's talk. So you can go outside, you can eat, we've got some sun in the forecast, but honestly, not going to be the best day to do it. I'm giving you a 2-star lunch here, temperatures 95, plenty of sunshine, but a 1-star dinner, temperature 98 there for your dinner hour. So it sure is going to be warm, which means if you're going to be out all day, here's what you're going to need to bring with you: an extra large iced coffee. So our temperature 101 for our high, which means that extra large iced coffee probably going to be the necessity that you need. Now I want to let you know this is not the day to take your dog on a walk in the peak heat hours of the day. Now this has us at 95 degrees. Keep in mind the forecast high temperature today 101, but even at that 95 mark, our concrete temperature 140, our asphalt temperature 155. So very, very hot for those little paws. Please promise me you're not going to take them out for that walk during the peak heat hours of the day. Now what you can do, go get a car wash. We don't have any rain in the forecast for the next couple of days, so it's a good day to go out and get that done. You know, maybe get some pollen off, some dirt off. I'm always waiting for a break in the rain to go get the car washed. All right, now I want to walk you through your temperatures for the next couple of days. So this puts us today with our high temperatures, of course, 101 in Huntsville, 99 Decatur, 98 in Gunnersville. But by the time we get to just after work this evening, this puts us at 8 p.m. We're talking 91 at Scottsboro, the same in Coleman, and 88 in the Shoals. So we will still be warm even at about 8 o'clock. Now, by the time we get to wake up tomorrow morning, we're talking 72 in Fort Payne. The rest of us really around the mid-70s as well. So not too bad by the time you wake up, but by 4 p.m., here we are. I feel like it's rinse and repeat. Back in the upper 90s, Moulton, you're even at 100 tomorrow for your high. So again, start off temperate and then we heat right on up and get warm. And unfortunately, the temperatures, they're consistent, but this humidity just cannot make up its mind. Right now, we've got this brown air that denotes dry air in the area. But then later into tomorrow morning, this green air that's thick in moisture stays with us throughout the lunchtime hour. We'll be feeling more humid. But the good news is by the time we get to tomorrow night and really into tomorrow afternoon, Thursday afternoon, we will dry out and won't be quite as humid. So your 7-day forecast looks like this: 101 for your high today, and then a little bit of the break from the heat. Temperatures move to the upper 90s, but check out this weekend, a little bit of rain.
Okay, I'm actually happy about the rain. I want some of the relief.
Are you happy about what you're about to tell us about?
I don't know. We'll see. Krispy Kreme just announced a new unexpected treat.
Yeah, how that company is now making ice cream taste like it's donuts.
All right, well, happening now, you can find some good food and help feed your community.
That's always a good
combination. I like it.
Sure. So Exit Realty North is actually hosting its food truck fundraiser today, having it at the Madison location off Slaughter Road until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Now, they do ask folks to bring non-perishable food items that they can donate to the Manna House. They're hoping to fill a truck with donated food. By the way, the food truck on site will be Bad News Barbecue. And let me tell you, Bad News Barbecue is good news to your taste buds.
It is. And the Manna House is such a great organization.
So KFC giving away a unique invention to help you eat sides. The chicken chain is actually giving away finger sporks utensils to combine the best of the spoon and the fork. But it can be worn on an index finger, as well as a KFC giving away the sporks to promote their sides lovers meal, sides lovers meal.
Sides lover meal.
Yeah,
lovers
they are
meal.
available now through July 12th. Let me see.
No, I know. That's why I'm looking
You
at
know
them and
what?
laughing.
Actually, because having
How
one
do
for
you
each
do
side is
that?
a lot to keep up with.
I kind of want to try it.
I kind of do too.
That's how they get you, though. That's how they get people to buy their food. All right. Here's
come.
another one that's interesting.
If you say so. So Krispy Kreme just announced a new ice cream.
This is how they're trying to lure in people. So it's called Original Glazed Soft Serve Ice Cream, made with whole milk and some of the same secret ingredients they make and they use for their donuts. Well, you can only order the ice cream in a few stores right now. It's going to actually roll out to the rest of the country eventually. Interested. I was explaining to Chris, not a big ice cream girl, but I might try it. Now this sounds good. Wayback Burgers in Huntsville is helping satisfy your sweet tooth. They're hosting its annual free shake day this Saturday to celebrate the official arrival of summer. All you have to do is show up and receive a 12-ounce chocolate milkshake. All right.
I just gave a shake.
I know you're shaking off camera. That was interesting. All right, the FAA is investigating right now, though, a small plane crash in Scottsboro.
Yeah, what we know about that situation at this hour, straight ahead.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WAAY 31 News with the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's take a live look over Decatur, courtesy of our WAAY 31 Sky Camera Network. It is just another hot day. I know. Can you feel it? If you step outside, you definitely will. We want you, of course, to stay hydrated if you do have to be out and about. Thank you so much for staying with us for WAAY 31 Midday News. I'm Megan Reyna.
And I'm Chris Tatum. Right now, I want to get straight over to WAAY 31 meteorologist Grace Anello to find just how hot it's going to get today.
Oh,
and, of course, good advice telling people to stay hydrated or stay out of it altogether.
Yes, you're exactly right, Chris. Well, forecasted high today, 101 here in Huntsville. The last time Huntsville hit 100 degrees, 2019. So definitely warm for us, not uncommon, but it has been a while. Well, several of us have a little bit of a breeze in the area that is going to help make us feel a little bit more comfortable. 10 miles an hour there in Gunnersville, 8 in Decatur, Haleyville, you're at 7 miles an hour. So that wind is helping to just calm down the temperature a little bit, help us to feel a little more bearable today. WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network is dry. It is clear. It's been that way for quite some time, and it stays around that way through the rest of the day today. By the time we get to 1 p.m., that high temperature already in the upper 90s, and by 2 p.m., 99 degrees, dangerously close to our forecasted high of 101. So we will be warm today. If you're out at the pool, try to get some shade under an umbrella. Make sure you bring some water with you because it's going to be hot. I've got your 7-day coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Grace. Well, brand new at midday, the Federal Aviation Administration scrambling to find out what caused a small plane crash in Scottsboro.
Yeah, it happened around 6:30 this morning at Scottsboro Municipal Airport. Investigators have not yet said if that plane was taking off or landing when it crashed. You can see there, though, how significantly damaged that plane is. Nobody, we are happy to say, though, very good news. Nobody got hurt.
Relieved to say that. Also new at midday, the Jackson County School District is mourning the loss of their superintendent. Today, the Jackson County Board of Education announced Kevin Dukes died. Board members say he was loved and will be missed by many. They didn't specify anything else surrounding the death or what may have caused it. We're certainly thinking about that community.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the results are in, and we now know which names will appear on the November general election ballot.
Yeah, Democrat Yolanda Flowers will face off against Republican Governor Kay Ivey. She won 10% more of yesterday's vote in the runoff than her Democratic challenger Malika Sanders' 48. Flowers, by the way, the first black woman to be nominated by a major party for governor of Alabama.
Katie Britt beat Mo Brooks, putting her name on the ballot for the open Alabama Senate seat in November. Britt will face Democrat Will Boyd in that race. She thanked supporters last night during a victory speech, but said her work's not done yet.
Y'all have such a special place in my heart. Whether it was encouraging me with texts, prayers, helping shuttle the children around, or putting together meet and greets, y'all have stepped up in such meaningful ways. Wesley said it best when he said, Katie, it's got to make you proud that the people who know you the best are your biggest supporters.
Well, Britt and Will Boyd are trying to fill the U.S. Senate seat that will be left open by current Senator Richard Shelby.
Well, Dale Strong is now the Republican contender for that 5th district seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. He beat challenger Casey Wardynski by more than 20,000 votes. Strong will face Democrat Kathy Warner Stanton come November. And Wes Allen, victorious in his campaign as the Republican candidate, now nominee to Secretary of State. He won 65% of the vote in that race. Allen will now face off against Pamela Lafitte in November. And you can find these results and many others that we haven't mentioned here on air when you head over to our website, WAAYTV.com. Also get that information when you download our WAAY 31 News app.
Well, funerals are underway for 2 people killed during a shooting at a Birmingham area church. They're for Bart Rainey and Sharon Yeager, and they're being held at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Vestavia Hills. Those 2 were killed at a potluck dinner at the church last Thursday. That 3rd victim will be laid to rest tomorrow. 70-year-old Robert Smith is charged with capital murder for that shooting. He's in jail right now without bond. No word yet on when he'll first appear in court. Right now, lawmakers are investigating the Uvalde school massacre that, of course, killed 19 kids, 2 teachers.
Yeah, ABC's Alexis Christoforous actually has the latest as the Texas Director of Public Safety slammed law enforcement's response to that shooting.
The crowd erupting in cheers after the Uvalde City Council unanimously denied embattled Police Chief Pete Arredondo a leave of absence in the wake of last month's deadly school shooting. This as the state's top public safety chief, Stephen McGraw, told a Texas Senate committee that, quote, terrible decisions were made that day.
That the law enforcement response to the attack at Robb Elementary was an abject failure.
McGraw telling state lawmakers that police could have stopped the deadly attack 3 minutes after it began.
The only thing stopping a hallway of dedicated officers from entering room 111 and 112 was the on-scene commander, who decided to place the lives of officers before the lives of children.
McGraw also saying officers wasted time searching for a key to a classroom door that wasn't locked, while kids were calling 911 from inside for over 40 minutes.
Is there anybody inside of the building? Tom is advising he is in the room full of victims.
Several senators reacting with shock and anger.
Every shot is a death, but yet this incident commander finds every reason to do nothing.
Arredondo recently told the Texas Tribune he felt he was in an impossible situation and wanted to save as many lives as possible. But that's not enough for Vinny Salazar, who lost his 11-year-old daughter, Layla.
They just stood there and they didn't do anything while our children were being killed. Your job is to protect and serve.
Chief Arredondo testified behind closed doors for almost 5 hours in a separate hearing before Texas state legislators as the community calls for his resignation. The community also demanding Arredondo testify publicly. And some state legislators are urging Texas Governor Greg Abbott to call a special session to adopt common sense gun reform laws. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
And U.S. lawmakers hope to vote on a new gun control bill by the end of this week. That bill would, among other things, make it harder for some people to buy certain kinds of guns and would strengthen background checks for all potential gun buyers.
Congress is back on the path to take meaningful action to address gun violence. I expect the bill to pass the Senate by the week's end.
The senators hope to take a full vote on that bill before they break for the 4th of July.
A Southeast Alabama community is remembering a deputy who died in the line of duty. Chambers County Deputy Jamar Cullen Abell died in a crash during a chase Monday. Abell is just 24 years old. His death happened on his 2-year anniversary with the Chambers County Sheriff's Office. According to his social media, he was a graduate of Huntsville's Columbia High School.
Well, happening today, President Biden expected to call on Congress to suspend the federal gas tax until the end of September. He'll also call on states to lift their own gas taxes, but no word yet from Governor Kay Ivey on whether she plans to drop Alabama's tax. She has expressed opposition to doing that before. And the president also plans to ask oil companies to increase production to help lower the pain at the pump. That speech, by the way, from the president scheduled to happen about an hour and a half from now, 1 this afternoon. Well, happening now, Priceville police need your help. Speaking of gas, to nab a gas thief. They say the man in that picture siphoned gas from several cars parked at Priceville businesses. Take a good look at him when you see him again, because there were some pretty good face pictures there. You should be able to, of course, recognize him. And if you know anything about these gas thefts, call Priceville PD.
Gas.
Telling you what, that's not a smart thing to do in this economy, because people are not willing to give it up.
Russia threatening the death penalty against 2 Alabamians captured in Ukraine.
What the State Department has to say about that. Welcome back, everybody. 11:43, and Russia now says it may execute 2 Alabama men who were captured fighting for Ukraine. It says Andy Tywin and Alexander Druki are not protected by the Geneva Convention that lays out how prisoners of war should be treated. Both men volunteered earlier this year to go fight alongside Ukrainians as they tried to hold back Russia's invasion. Well, the U.S. State Department says it is warning Russia right now not to execute those men, and is also working to make sure those men are safe.
That anyone who is in their custody or the custody of proxy forces who fall under Russian control, their health, their safety, their well-being is the responsibility of the Russian Federation.
Well, there are other U.S. leaders who outright have said it's a very bold statement for Russia to threaten to execute 2 Americans after its own invasion of Ukraine. In any case, of course, the U.S. State Department says it's also working right now trying to bring those 2 men home.
Well, more people may be able to get a 4th COVID booster soon. The U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy says they're considering expanding eligibility for that booster. Right now, people 50 and older are eligible. FDA vaccine advisors are set to discuss this decision next week. The Food and Drug Administration is trying to lower nicotine levels in cigarettes. The FDA says it wants to bring down nicotine to non-addictive levels. It could take more than a year to implement. During that time, the public would be asked to comment on the proposal during a review period. Tobacco companies could also challenge the regulation in court.
Well, people in Montana cleaning up after flooding destroyed homes.
How one man says he's trying to focus on gratitude.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, people in Montana cleaning up right now after flooding destroyed homes there.
Yeah, one Army veteran actually says he's not sure if he'll be able to keep living in his house. Several volunteers came to help Larry Richardson clean up after those floods. In spite of the damage, though, he says he's focused on gratitude.
I know this is a bad situation, but the people that have come in here, just tremendous. Can't thank them enough. And we're not done yet. We're not done yet.
Well, that just makes me tear up. Well, Richardson said he grew up in that house, then bought it after his parents passed away. And God forbid he cannot live in that home anymore. I hope that the community comes together to get him a new home.
I've got a feeling they will. Speaking of flooding, Yellowstone National Park welcoming back some guests after record flooding there. Right now, though, only the southern part of that park is open. Park rangers say some buildings, miles of roads, and even several bridges are washed out in the northern part of the park. And they are still assessing that damage, but expect repairs could cost more than $1 billion.
We do want to get a check of our forecast here, dealing with a lot of heat.
Yeah,
that is true.
We are about to sizzle here in North Alabama today.
That's a good way to put it. Grace?
Yes. No, you guys are exactly right. Well, good afternoon, Muscle Shoals. You guys already warm there, 96. But look, a pretty beautiful day. Plenty of those fair weather cumulus clouds. So it is plenty nice for you guys. WAAY 31 Storm Tracker, early warning radar network, completely clear. Not a single drop of rain at all on the radar. Now, I want to let you know there is a little bit of cloud cover in the area, and it's going to stick with us mainly east of I-65 for a little bit in the afternoon. But the good news, by the time we get to about 3 o'clock, that should be well on gone and out of our way. All right, if you're going out for lunch and dinner, I'm just going to tell you right now, change your plans. Stay inside for lunch and dinner. Your lunch temperature, we're talking 95. I'm giving you 2 stars for that because we will have plenty of sunshine. But dinner, really only 1 star. We're talking temperatures there in the upper 90s. That sunshine does stay on tap, but it's going to be so warm. So maybe stay inside if you can. The best thing you can do, in my opinion, coffee addict that I am, grab yourself an iced coffee there. Our high temperature for the day, 101, so we will be plenty warm, meaning that the extra large is definitely the way you're going to want to go. Okay, now I want to bring your attention to this. Humans, not the only one that are going to be feeling the heat today. Now this has us at 95. Keep in mind our forecasted temperature in Huntsville today, 101. But even at 95, the concrete temperature feeling like 140 degrees and the asphalt feeling like 155. So way too hot for our furry friends. Do not take them out on a walk during the peak heat hours of the day. Just too hot for them. If you're going to do that, maybe plan way later this evening. Now what you can do though, go on and get a car wash. We don't have rain for the next couple days in our system, so it's a good day to go out and get that done. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all green lights for you there. If you're anything like me, you're always waiting to escape the rain so you can go get the car cleaned off. All right, now I want to walk you through your temperatures for the next couple of days. Of course, these are our high temperatures today. Huntsville 101, Decatur 99, and Coleman, you're the same. By the time we get to just after work today, talking about 8 o'clock, we're talking 91 in Scottsboro, 90 in Decatur, Haleyville. You catch a little bit of a breakdown there. Look at that, 83 degrees. So still fairly warm for us considering that's really just before sundown. Getting you out the door tomorrow morning, 74 in Huntsville, the same in Decatur. Moulton, you're 75, so mid-70s there, not too bad, but don't hold your breath because by the time we get to the heat of the day tomorrow, it's rinse and repeat. We're back to the upper 90s. Moulton, you're at 100, but even still, we are very warm. Now this heat here to stay, but what really can't decide, the humidity. So this brown air, this is our drier air. This is what's in our system right now. But by the time we push through Thursday morning, this puts us at 5:30, plenty of this green air that has more moisture. That means we're feeling more humid. That pushes in, but the good news is by about 3:30 tomorrow afternoon, that does push out of the way again. So your 7-day forecast looks like this: 101 for our high today and 90s for the rest of the week.
Hey Grace, thanks so much. I just want to add something real quick. We just got in from Tennessee Valley Authority. They're asking customers again to voluntarily reduce their electrical use because of all of that heat.
They say that especially means maybe not using some of your heavier drawing appliances,
right,
stoves and that sort of thing this time of day.
All right, well, also coming up, Women in Technology hosting a mentoring event, what they're offering for women here in North Alabama.
Happening today, Women in Technology Huntsville hosting a mentoring platform event.
Yeah, it starts at 5:30 at UAH's Intention to Innovation Center. Free, open to all women. It has a lineup of speakers, mentor speed dating, networking opportunities. You do want to make a reservation beforehand. Seating is limited. The 2022 Westminster Dog Show is underway in New York.
Look at that cute face. The Best in Show will be awarded today. Here are your 4 finalists: Trumpet the Bloodhound, which I think we just saw, Hollywood the Maltese, Winston the French Bulldog, and River the German Shepherd were all picked yesterday to advance to the final round of the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. And check this out, a newborn goat could be a world record holder after her ears were measured at nearly 19 inches.
Oh my gosh.
So this 17-year-old little baby goat, Simba, born at a Pakistani goat farm. The owners say her breed is known for their long ears, but not that long. They say it actually could be a genetic mutation. Now they want to know if there has been another goat with longer ears, especially once she's fully grown.
How cute
I just think she's adorable.
She kind of looks like a dog. What are the dogs with the very long ears? Was that the one we saw earlier?
Bloodhounds.
The bloodhound. So cute. How precious.
Great.
Oh my goodness, that was so cute. I love that little goat. All right, 101 for our high temperature today. Plenty of sunshine is on tap. We keep the sunshine, but we also keep the heat. Temperatures in the upper 90s here for the rest of the week. The good news is Monday we dip down into the low 90s there, a bit of relief from that heat. Unfortunately, on Monday we do reintroduce the chance for rain.
Okay, thank you so much, Grace. Another reminder, try to cut back on electricity if you can. That's TVA asking customers to do so.
And a reminder, take care of yourself today out there and keep those pets inside where it's cool. See you back here at 4 o'clock this afternoon, everybody.